Welcome everyone to another episode of
Why the long face?
where Paul and I get together and we talk about
Mostly nonsense, silly, well, stuff only that our brains comprehend and crave.
exactly, and that's what's important
It's only important to us.
to us, and that's all that matters.
That's all.
And if you enjoy it, that's just a byproduct of it, and we're sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
All right.
Apparently you have it too.
Yes. So I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday, and hope you enjoyed your families. Paul, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was all right. We went away for Thanksgiving. We weren't home.
Oh, did you? Where'd you go?
We went down to the coast. Us and a couple extended families, we all rented a place, and we were there from like Wednesday to Sunday.
Oh, sounds nice.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. We just hosted, so we had a bunch of people come over and ran around like, idiots.
Turkeys with your heads cut off?
Exactly. It was just craziness, but, we made it through it, and that was the important part. Now we have tons and tons of food left over, and I can't eat it all myself.
But you will die trying.
I will die trying.
Heart attack! Put that in a plastic. Put that in a Ziploc. I'll eat it. Later.
I'll eat it later. Bring it to the hospital.
Don't throw it out.
All right. Well, the important thing I guess we have to talk about is obviously we're 2 episodes into the Walking Dead because we took a break for the holiday.
And they were 2 lost character episodes. Like, hey, what happened to these people?
Exactly. So, I mean, one had to deal with the hilltop,
Yeah.
which was kind of interesting because I already knew what was going to happen. But what was your take on that? What did you take from that episode?
That old man's a dumb son of a bitch.
I mean, besides that, what did you think
just
about?
Mostly the son of a bitch part. No, it's it's kind of funny towards the end when the saviors set up that car to call the zombies in. How was it so easy for them to get in like that?
Well, it was mostly because it was already set up.
But it looked like it was abandoned. Like my wife and I were first like, oh, they left Carol and what's the other girl's name?
Maggie?
No, Maggie and who? I'm sorry, who's the other girl with Maggie? I'm sorry.
Maggie and the what is her name?
The rifleman, because she's good. She's a good shot, right? She's a good.
No,
rifle.
She's not really that good
I thought
yet.
She's a good shot from far away.
Oh yeah, that's right. She is. I'm thinking about Michonne's trying to.
So
yeah.
Those 2 are there, and I'm like, they left them, and here comes the zombies. But then I was
Sasha?
like, oh, okay.
Is it Sasha?
Yeah, that's who it is. Sasha. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what did you think of that? It played out a little bit different in the comic, but you kind of get the general gist of what they were trying to do.
Jesus was like, hey, this isn't working either. And Maggie kind of stepped up and said, you know what, from now on, you're not going to call me. Because he's like, what's her name? What's this person's name? Kept calling everybody by the wrong name. And who's that? He's like always confused.
Yeah, well, because he didn't really care. He was kind of thrusted into that role of being a leader. I don't think he really wanted it, and then when it was given to him, he just milked it.
Yeah. Oh,
so
maybe we can discuss this in private. And they're like,
yeah,
not in your life. Oh, how dare you think I meant that? Well, what were you talking about then?
Exactly. Yeah, he just pretty much is just there to reap the benefits of whatever comes his way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what did you think about Maggie taking over the way she did?
Well, in her group, she's not used to putting up with bullshit. So from the zombie upbringing, how they became who they are in the zombie world, they're not used to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, well, if you're not going to do this, we got to get this done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know it's a perfectly
So
good pocket watch. Shouldn't be out in the rain. Like, you son of a bitch.
yeah, it's interesting to see how her character is going from, you know, somebody's daughter to now, you know, she is
Yeah, but no, she
fully grown,
hasn't been
understands
that
what's
person
going
in a long
on.
time, though, Mike.
Right, but she understands what's going on, and then you know, she's, you know, able to take care of herself now, which is kind of cool. I mean, you see that in the progression from season. When did she come out? Season 2, I think it was.
3 or 2?
Is
Maybe
it
it was
season
2
3?
because that's where the girl. Right, season 1 it was like, hey, what happened to the little girl? And they went to that farm, and that's where they found her.
Right, season 2. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see that, and then to see that she is, even though the doctor says, you know, don't move, she's willing to do what she's got to do to protect people.
Mike, I want to know is why do your dogs disagree with everything I say?
He watches it, and he just does not like what we're saying.
He's like, listen,
He says, I disagree.
I disagree. I like the part when the zombies get to eat.
Yes, that's. I like when they chew on bones.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, it was interesting to see how that character is gonna, you know, progressing along, especially that, you know, the leader there. He could just tell he's
Wishy-washy.
destined for nothing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the whole thing with Jesus, he just doesn't know what he wants. You know,
Well, yeah,
he's
he would probably be a pretty decent leader, but that's not what he's about. He's more a man on the ground kind of guy.
right. Mm-hmm. And he is. He's pretty on point. Now with him at the end, and again, this is
but we got to talk
spoiler
about
alerts.
prior to that with Carl.
Well, that's what I'm getting to, the whole spoiler thing. You know, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, but you know, with Carl, how they set it up where him and Jesus meet up at the end, where Carl's with that girl, he's following her around.
Well, he's kind of escorting her, really. I mean, he's like, I'm
Well,
heading this way. I'm gonna kind of make sure you're okay.
Kind of, but I just wonder, because there's a storyline later down the line. I wonder if they're setting that up for that, because it's a little premature for this, but I think they're setting that whole thing up so that way it kind of runs along that line.
Well, Mike, stop reading the comics and just watch the
Well,
show like everybody else, okay?
Right. Well, yeah, but still, you want to
Like
know.
every week, you're like, I know something I can't tell you.
But that's the best part of the whole thing.
It's not
teasers.
Though. It's not because it's not the same story.
I know it's not
The
the same
comic
story,
book
but
doesn't even have zombies in it. They're gorillas.
they don't. Oh, I guess I read the wrong comic.
Exactly. No, but let me just say this about Carl. I asked, like we when we were on Thanksgiving, I'm like, hey guys, we were talking. Did you see the last episode? Like, no, we didn't. So we rewatched it. There, the one with the one we were just discussing. And I have my niece's daughter who's 17. I'm like, okay, let me know. Is Carl good looking? She's like, yeah, he's good looking. So there you go. He's a good looking young man. The ladies like him.
Really, I thought you were going in a different way. I thought you were going to ask, is Carl gay?
No. He's got that kind of boy look, but I guess he's kind of, showing that he's a badass too.
I don't know. He, the whole moppy hair, just kind of, I don't know.
But Mike, you like young Asian boys. This is something different.
Yeah, well,
He's not
it's a
Asian.
preference.
He's not Asian.
It's a preference. It's a preference. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand. It's
He is staying like, Dad. We don't do this shit. I mean, we don't back down. We're tough. We're the survive. We are who we are. We don't bow down to these fools. We can beat them. We can do this. We can do that. Whether or not he's thinking it out, He's just like, hey, this is what we can do.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
or this is what I'm
like
gonna do.
he is. You got to understand that Carl is a teenager, and Carl is going to rebel a lot. And for those of you who have already read the comic, you understand what I'm talking about. And for those
Yeah, but
of
in
you
the comic, he's like younger in the comic.
yeah, but he's still no. Well, you got to understand that at one point he does grow up in the comic, so he is a little bit older, which is good. I'm glad they did that.
I just remember seeing on the pictures because I didn't read the Negan comic. He's a little guy. He's not like Carl is like 16 or 17, whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, when you're doing comic books, you don't compensate for, growth spurts, which is what he did. He went through. He went through a big growth spurt at one point. But yeah, I mean, it's still a storyline that's gonna, Carl is very pig-headed and wants to do things his way, and that's just what Carl's all about. And regardless of whether his dad agreed with him or not, he's still going to want to do what he wants to do. He's just trying to feel himself.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a mission. Like, hey, I'm going to go do this.
Right. He's trying to find his voice in the world.
No, I think he's just like, hey, I'm going to go take him out.
Well, you got to understand that that's what any teen would think, because they think, hey, I'm trying to find myself.
What could be the ramifications if Carl goes and kills him? Like, oh, I'm going to kill your dad? No, he will, but it's more like for Rick, like, don't kill my son, than, don't kill my dad. You know what I'm saying? It's like more like he's more precious to Rick in a sense. Like, it's more of a blow to take out Carl from Rick than it is. Carl's just like, I'm just a kid, I'm expendable.
Well, the thing about, again, being a teenager, you don't understand the ramifications of what you do. So if he picks a fight with Negan, and let's say he doesn't succeed in what he's doing, Negan's just going to retaliate, and it'll be his fault. But he doesn't understand that.
But let's get 5 different 17-year-old girls, and 3 girls and 2 guys, and ask them, do you understand the ramifications of our choices? And they will proceed to tell you how mature and grown up they are.
Of course they are. Of course they will. I was a teen.
I'm more mature than any of my coworkers or my classmates.
Yeah. I mean, I was a teenager once, and I thought I knew everything.
Oh, I was a teenager twice.
Were you?
Yes.
Was it twice?
I said, let me restart this.
You hit the reset button.
I said, let me try this again.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah,
I'm going to try this again. Yeah, so I mean, it was an interesting episode.
Yeah.
I liked where it went, because it's setting a lot of things up, which is great. I mean, I like the fact that they're trying to show how cowardly that guy is.
But that other guy that came in said, hey, he's being like a cocky son of a bitch. He's like, the way you used to deal with the other guys, they kind of let you slide, and that's what happened. So now, it's not going to be as nice. You're going to deal with me, and I'm going to be a jerk off. I'm going to take the lead on giving Negan all this bourbon of yours.
Exactly.
I was wondering, like when Jesus at the end, he was like pouring the bottle out. Like he took a sip and he was pouring it out. I'm like, is he like? Before Carl jumped out, I'm like, is he thinking he could like light the truck on fire or something, or is he just getting rid of it so they don't have it?
I just think he was just being kind of rebellious.
Okay.
That's all it was. It's just kind of like a screw you type thing. Because by the time he gets there and there's only like maybe 1 bottle or no bottles of bourbon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then they're going to say, hey, what happened? Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was that episode. I mean, there's not much to say about that except that they were just building characters and showing you how they're going to be.
Well, and Maggie stepped
up with
the old tractor, backing up, and then I was like, "That's a perfect look! It just tears them right up, perfect."
The best thing was if she would have been, yelling "Yee-haw,"
No,
and
she's pissed. She's
and
pissed. She will never be happy.
hitting the horn, and the General Lee song would have played.
Yeah, but she's never going to be happy again. Mike, her
No.
Glenn's gone.
No, she'll be happy.
Not in my mind.
She will be happy.
Not in my mind.
Well, you know what? Your mind is broken.
Well, let me restart.
All right. So, on that note, we'll go into this week's episode.
Yeah. And another character. What's it? Tara, right?
Yeah, Tara.
Yeah. Like I did kind of go, oh yeah, what happened to those two guys? Like
Yeah,
you forgot about them again. Hey, what happened?
Well, they were supposed to go away for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I forget what it was.
But realistically, yeah, this is for us, the whole season. But this is a quick turn. I mean, this is like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. And all they were supposed to do is go look for food, and they couldn't find any
No, I thought
food.
it was medical supplies.
They were looking for anything,
Yeah, but
and they couldn't find anything.
The top of their list was let's make sure we can get medical supplies because I think
Right.
they do have resources with Hilltop for food, but medical supplies is the one thing that's tricky.
Right. And it's interesting how they showed that one group of all the women.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's going on there? I was like, hey, Tara's gonna like, I'm staying.
She's like, I'm in heaven. I even forgot that she was gay for that episode, and until she got there with all the women.
Well, I forgot
like,
that.
oh.
I forgot that her girlfriend died.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that too.
That's what
but
say.
yeah,
that's what I have to say. Previously on The Walking Dead.
But the funny thing is that she didn't really have too much of a relationship with her.
No, she just kind of you just kind of saw a couple glimpses of her actually being a little bit like happy,
Mm-hmm.
And I like they don't spend too much on developing that character because she's kind of like a background character.
She's gonna be dead.
Oh yeah, that's what
no, I'm just saying
the
girlfriend.
Don't get too excited. But they
Don't
didn't
get too
develop
excited
it too much. I mean, because there's all that other shit going on. There's no time for her side story.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's just it's one of those things where they don't develop the character, and when they don't develop the character, you go, they're not going to be there for long. You just know.
But we
and then they do develop a character, and then they take them away anyway. So
we
you just don't know.
Discuss the ending, though. I don't know if you want to get to that yet and rush through it.
Well, I think,
but let's talk about those chicks in that hidden place. So they were.
Let's
they
talk
were
about the women.
Pretty
hey, let's be racially sensitive, all right? Women. Okay.
Women's.
Not chicks, not broads.
Oh, come on, broads.
Not babes.
Dames? How about dames?
Dames. Let's be racially sensitive and call them what they are. They're
racially.
Women.
It's not racially. It doesn't matter what race they are.
It's their race.
It's
women.
Politically correct. That's race.
All right, cool. But let's be politically correct then.
So those vaginas are in that place. When they so those ladies in that place, they were.
And we just lost the 2 listeners that we had.
Oh, he said. No, I said South Virginia. So they were kind of. I don't know if you say they're badasses, but they have their shit down. They were on point. Like, okay, click, 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 click. Let's everybody get a weapon. Not that they were really good shots per se, but hey,
right.
If you got an automatic rifle, you're gonna eventually hit something.
Well, the funny thing is that you knew it was a setup anyway.
I didn't know.
When they said, I this storyline wasn't even in the comic, so this was something new. But you kind of knew it was.
Mike, you had to watch it like the rest of us.
Exactly. You knew it was a setup because of the way they were, just so. Oh yeah, sure. We'll take you back, and we'll go.
I didn't know. I was like, what's gonna happen? I didn't know that they were gonna kill until she started getting nervous, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because she was just like, you could tell, she was already looking for it, and then when she says, "Oh, I got it," And she goes and she
Like, I'm
goes
outta
to
here.
the, yeah. She just took off 'cause she knew.
I was like, wait, can we spend some more time on this zombie? It looks kind of cool. And then, no, we have to move on.
We have to move on. The yeah. So I mean, you know, then she was telling that girl, you know, hey, if you let me go, then I won't tell
I'll do
anybody about.
wonderful lady things to you. Did she mention that?
No,
Oh, okay.
she
sorry.
didn't.
Sorry, that
No.
was the movie playing in my head. I'm sorry.
That was the walking porn. The walking les.
That would be like no, that would be like zombie boners or something like that. Something they would. It couldn't be the Walking Dead. It would be like the Walking Hung or Undead Hung. It was something.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, it would be something close to that.
Yes.
But yeah, so they you know, she agreed to not say anything. The girl let her go. And then when she was getting interrogated, she was just like, hey, tell me about, you know, Rosita's like, tell me, did you see anything? Did you see any weapons?
That's what I was talking about. What do you think? Should she have come clean with that, or should she have kept her promise and not said anything?
I think she should have kept her promise. And
Well, she did.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Keeping her promise was the right thing to do because she was just trying to show that girl, hey, you know, there are good people in this world. Even though everybody in that compound is saying there isn't, you know, she's just trying to show the girl, hey, there is good people out here, and that's why she did what she did. Otherwise, you know, she probably would have just told them and been over and done with. Because, you know, they could have took over that compound with no problem.
Yeah.
And then
They
and then
could.
the one racist thing that I saw on there is how come when she gets to the bridge, she goes looking for the guy, and of course there's somebody with peasy hair in braids, and they happen to be black, and that's the only person that she's like, and then when she turns it around, it's a woman. It's like,
But
come on.
the hair looked like that guy's hair.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Really? You were gonna find a zombie that kind of had the same exact hair? And where did that zombie come from?
Yeah. The zombies are everywhere, Mike.
Where did it come from? Because remember, they blocked off the bridge. So they had those dump truck full of sand. And they were trying to cover up the zombies with them. Now, all those zombies that came out were pretty much decomposing.
Yeah.
And none of them looked like they were as well kept as that one was. And I'm like, come on. It's like, what was that about?
Well, what else are they going to do? I was like, is that him? Because it looked a little different, but it looked kind of like him. So,
Yeah.
probably shouldn't talk about that, but I just wanted to bring it up. But no, but what? But what is? I mean, you had to do that. They have to do it because you're like, oh no, he's a zombie.
Yeah, it was just it really didn't really need
Okay,
to
but
do
what
it.
does PPP stand for?
That I do not know, which
Ah,
I did see a YouTube video on it, and I didn't watch it because they were
Dude.
saying, "Oh, the meaning behind the PPP." Because she picked it up, knew what it was, and started smiling.
yeah.
So she obviously knows what it's about.
Is that stand for other person's privates?
I think it's 666. She had it upside down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So that's why she was smiling.
Hmm.
She was just like, "Oh yeah, I know what this means,"
And she left.
and she left.
You know, they had the
Smile.
guy who plays Negan on Howard Stern.
Right?
get to
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
heard that interview.
Oh, you did? Did you hear it?
Yeah, I heard that interview.
Oh. Was it good? Or?
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. He talked about some things that he's been doing. Like he talked about like how he got that role, and they kind of told him 48 hours before the role. They gave him the script, and they said, here's your script," And he's just like, dude, I can't remember stuff that well. So he said for like 2 days he's like hanging around his farm, talking about, reading the script and trying to memorize it. He said it was so hard for him, but he got into the character because he knew what the Negan character was. So I'm assuming that he probably read comics, because him and Paul Rudd are big friends.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, because what is his name? Jonathan. What is his name again? Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He owns a farm
Hmm.
where he gets rescue animals, and they bring them to him. So he's got a lot of llamas. So what happens is he gets all these llamas because at one point it was like this big thing where people thought they were going to make money off of llamas, and it fell out. So
They thought it was
instead
going to
of
be another meat source, or
or just a wool type thing,
okay.
because you can take their wool and use it just like sheep.
Yeah. And it's a
but
bigger animal.
Right, yeah, but it didn't happen. And
Well, just like people thought ostrich was going to be the new chicken.
Yeah,
or
same thing.
Emu, or I think it was emu, maybe not ostrich. Emu, I think it was the smaller, somewhat.
Yeah,
smaller
emu.
one.
Yeah,
And,
emu did this. Yeah,
there are people like this isn't chicken.
exactly.
This chicken doesn't taste like chicken.
See, the problem is they did it several years ago. They should have done it with the millennials, because the millennials will jump on that stuff. The baby boomers didn't really care.
Mike, now you remember who are we?
We are baby boomers.
No, we are not. We are X, Generation X.
Yeah, I know.
Not the baby boomers. Baby boomers is before us. Before, like,
I know.
the end of the 50s, beginning of the 60s.
Well, yeah, because they didn't care about that kind of meat source. All they knew about is beef and
I would be
chicken, and
just
that's
like, hey,
all
which
they
one
wanted.
tastes better?
Generation X.
Which one can you get on the plate?
Generation X, we just pretty much care about
Ourselves.
having, we just care about ourselves. That's
Listen,
pretty much
we're
it.
lazy. We care about ourselves. I'm tired of thinking about this. I'm going to change the channel.
But yeah, he owns a farm. So you find out he owns this farm, and he gets all this, rescue animals. And then him and Paul Rudd and somebody else, they saved a candy store in a small town.
What do you mean?
I think it's Rhinebeck. Well, what happened was it's called Samuel's Sweet Shop. And what happened was they were going to close it down because the gentleman that owned the shop was just old and just was going to retire. And, him and Paul Rudd said, hey, why let this candy shop that's been around for generations, close down? Because then it was a big staple of this town. So they saved it because it was a coffee shop plus a candy store.
Okay.
So what they did was they took it over, and they made, now it's this big booming business. Obviously because Paul Rudd and Jeffrey go there all the time and kind of hang out every so often. But yeah, it's actually an interesting thing that they did that. And then obviously Howard was kind of like, are you there all the time? And he's like, yeah, I'm there all the time. And he's like, do they bother you for raises? Like, because they know how much you make.
Huh.
So they know you have money. And he's like, no, they don't. He gives them incentives, though. He says if the candy store does well, then they'll get bonuses. And that's
Okay.
He said the candy store's been doing well. So
Okay, listen, enough
bonuses.
about the candy store. I want to know, does he have people telling him, we hate you, you son of a bitch? Did he talk about that?
No, they really didn't get into that. So he didn't really talk too much about it. They did talk about how much, he enjoyed the role.
Yeah.
And he said that whole filming was really hard because the crew accepted him because they knew, he was just playing a role. But the whole time on set, people were between takes just crying because they knew that those two guys were leaving, so it was just an emotional time for them.
Okay.
So it was interesting, just to see that.
Well, yeah. I'm sure he doing this role. I'm sure he, he's solidified himself because he's not a real famous guy prior to this. I mean, he was. Don't get me wrong. I knew him as soon as I seen him, but I don't think people were like, "Oh yeah, we need to get this guy." I think it's more like now, now he's going to be thought of more. I think.
Well, he did a lot of doctor type of things.
Oh,
so
really?
he was on. I think he was on. I forget which one it was. Like one of those doctor shows. But he was also on The Good Wife.
Yeah, I remember him. I remember him from different roles and stuff, but I just don't remember exactly. What he was. I don't know if he played a bad guy, a good guy, or I think more of a good guy. I think I don't know.
Well, we used to watch Extant. I don't know if you watched that or not.
Who is it? What is it?
Extant. That was that one with Holly Berry. No, where she went into space and she got impregnated.
It was a TV
by
show?
some alien. Yeah, it was. And she got impregnated by some alien, and he was trying to help her.
It sounds totally horrible.
You know what? It was okay, and then it started getting really weird. I was just like,
It sounds like they wanted to go a certain way for TV, but the guy goes, "No, I have this idea. Well, let's just do this for TV." And then the guy started to do his TV, like his original vision, and it probably didn't work once they set up these characters.
Yeah, it was actually in the beginning it was good.
Yeah.
And then by the time it got to the second season, you were just like, "What the hell is happening?"
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't really work out. But yeah, I mean, it was just it was a good interview overall. I mean, just to hear.
Well,
him
everybody
talk
wants to
and
hear that guy. Everybody wants to know what's up with that guy.
Well, yeah, and it's funny because after I heard the interview, I saw him on. He was on Regis. Well, it's not Regis anymore. It's
What's it? Kelly
Ripa
and somebody.
Kelly. It used to be Kelly and Michael, but Michael's not on there anymore. So he's on like all the daytime talk shows now. He's doing the circuit. So they're pushing him, trying to get him out there. But yeah, he I think he did a good job, and I think he's a good asset to the show.
Yeah, he's a good character. Yeah, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I give him my seal of approval.
I
he can continue.
I think they can keep him around for another couple episodes.
It's just kind of like when you hear people talking with about their sports team, and they're just like, "Yeah, I think they should keep the quarterback. He's doing a good job this year."
And like they're somehow in some decision.
Yeah.
To a multi-gazillion-dollar decision to do something with people. The armchair quarterback or whatever they say.
Yeah, armchair quarterback. That's like for Thanksgiving. Obviously people were watching the football game at my house, and they're all talking about the game, and they're just like, "Oh, you should have never done that. If it was me, I would have done." Yeah. And I said, "But it's not you.
If it was you, they would have lost."
Yes. I said, "It's not you. Just stop."
Yeah. Well, if it was me, I would have.
Just stop.
If it was you and you were in that position, that team would have lost.
Exactly. Long time.
So.
Well, it is what it is. But, yeah. I mean, the ending. What'd you think of the ending? I mean, was it good for you? Was it not good for you?
When she walked up and Eugene was all crying like, "Oh shit, you need to hear that shit." Yeah, no, I was wondering like, hey, is she gonna? I guess I was like, I don't think I emotionally it would hit me because you got to see Glenn and Abraham get smashed. So just like this second hand type stuff I was more just like, is she gonna tell? Is she gonna tell on him? On that other colony? That's what my mind was going to, realistically.
Hmm.
But
You
I was
would've
like,
told,
oh
wouldn't
yeah,
you?
that's kind of fucked up. She didn't hear about anything
You would have told, wouldn't you?
yet. Huh. Well, not being a woman, I would have probably been shot already.
But you would have told.
I don't know. There's, for me, it would be 50-50.
Well, because I know you, and I know the type of person you are.
No, but I mean, realistically, there is weapons there that they may need.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I know you, and it's all about what's going to keep Paul alive.
And maybe you're right.
And it would have been like, hey, I'll stay alive if I have to push my wife into this cave. Okay.
It would no, I wouldn't do that. Because I
Yes,
would
you
never
would.
hear. Because I would never hear the end of it. If it was me, they're like, do you know of any place where we can get supplies and weapons? I would be like, let's go, everybody, let's go,
Let's go.
We're heading over here.
You would have been already there.
Let's go.
Is what you're saying.
Hey,
you would have been already there.
You guys tried to kill me and all, and now I brought my team, and we're gonna kill the shit out of you and take your.
Well, they don't even have to do that. They could have just befriended them and used them as for the fish. You know what I mean?
Well,
It was
that's
a
what
fishing
it. That's the
village.
thing is they didn't give her that chance because she said no, yeah, we'll do this, and it was all bullshit.
Yeah. But I mean that would have been ideal for them. They could have used the resource.
Yeah, and they could have used their resources of these people, but they blew it. They blew it, Mike. It's over.
They blew it.
They blew it.
The game's over. They blew it.
Exactly. Well, what I would have done was, yeah, no, it's over.
It's over.
Oh, I don't know. But to be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I don't know. Like I said, 50-50, dude. I might have. Because I'm like, yeah, we really do need those weapons. But then again, maybe if it was Rosita asking me, I'd be like, she's kind of annoying. Maybe I won't try to help her out. I don't know.
I lean more like a 60-40 with you.
Yeah. I was just thinking that. Probably 60-40. 60% chance no, 40% yes.
I think it would be the other way around.
Oh, okay.
60%
Jeez,
yes.
you're just ratting this. You're just ratting me out. Well, they do have a lot of weapons.
That's what you get for opening up my soda, you bastard.
They do have a lot of They do have a lot of automated weapons, and they have a lot of old and young kids there. So they don't need that.
They don't.
They don't need this. Yeah, it was an okay episode. I mean, after so much that's going on, you need a couple of these to kind of get caught up and stuff.
These filler ones.
But I mean, what is she gonna bring to the team though, being back?
Well,
what does she rally to the team?
She's another made-up character.
Yeah. No, I'm asking you, not based on your damn comic book experience, on the show. Just saying, what do you think she's gonna bring to the team?
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's a made-up character, which she didn't offer a lot of skills to begin with.
Well, no, she's good at something. She's good. She is good at. I don't know if it's shooting. She's good at some. She is good at something. I can't remember what it is.
I think she was just really good at being sarcastic.
Maybe she's good at motivating Eugene.
I think she was good at that.
Because he liked her.
Yeah.
And she's just like, listen, I don't like guys.
I play for the other team.
Yeah, but he's still like kind of. I
still
think
was
she might have influenced some of his decisions too, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, beyond that, I mean that's what that is.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So hopefully,
they are stronger as a whole than separated. So maybe that's what it is about getting all the decks, getting every back, in place. Maybe that'll help.
I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get everything back, and then you'll see Rick do his 180, and we'll see what happens
hope.
there.
Unless he dies next week.
That's true. You never know. It's like Game of Thrones. You just, hey, this guy's gonna Jon Snow's dead. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. he was. Oh.
Oh, this new character. Oh, he's dead. Well, this guy's really cool. I really like how. Oh, he's dead.
Like I remember the one where the Hispanic guy in Game of Thrones, like his brother, he sends his brother to what is that? What is that? Freeport?
Yeah. No,
He
Freeport's in the Dungeons and Dragons game. Or no, that's an EverQuest, dude. Freeport.
He sends him to Freeport, and he's there with to just kind of relax and like smooth over relations between the two countries, and then he sees that Tyrion is being is going to be on trial, and then Tyrion looks for that champion.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take over. I'll be his champion. And then you're thinking, hey, this guy's pretty cool. I like what he's doing. This guy is going to be like a really cool. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. That wait, the guy that got his eyes pushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was around for a while.
Right, but I mean,
when you
see
him
him
said,
fighting,
"Hey, I'll be your champion," you're like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be a great." Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Because you're thinking to yourself, man, this is going to be great.
Because he was a good fighter. He was like matter of factly, like he always kind of put everybody in his place. He was always calm and collected about whatever the situation, and like, hey, no big deal, I'll handle it. And you're like, oh, okay, this should be. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like they develop characters like that, and then they throw it in your face. Here you go. He's dead. Hey, you like this?
Oh, you like that? He's dead. That's why
it's like somebody giving you a
post
balloon.
on any fan boards. Oh, this guy's really cool because then that guy, what's his name? What's his R.R. Martin?
Yeah.
He reads them, goes, oh, you like him?
Mm-hmm. Guess what? He's gone. Oh, you like the way I developed this character, and you like the way he is? Yeah, well, he's dead.
He's dead.
All right, well, doing a 180 from there, you were talking about that they're doing a big crossover in the DC.
Yes, on the
TV.
DC shows, the Flash, Arrow, Legends of the DC Universe, or Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. And I just recently, like, I know you had said you had watched Supergirl, and I had never had. And I was like, this whole special deal's coming up. Let me take a look at it. So I started watching it, and I'm kind of digging it. My question about Supergirl before I talk about, why is everybody so mean to her? Why are they all dicks to her? Every episode's like, it's your fault. You should have, like the general, I want you to test this robot. Hey, the robot's killing everybody. It's your fault. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, he's already an alien hater to begin with.
Yeah.
Because he hates Clark already.
He is a dick, though, dude. He
is.
He was like to the Jimmy Olsen. He was just like, I hope someday she'll realize that she made a mistake. Like, whoa.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, she.
So,
it's a. What was funny is during the whole crossover event. So the story goes is there's aliens coming down, and it's like aliens from another planet, and from Arrow Diggle, his wife works for the top secret agency, blah blah blah, whoever.
Right. Yeah.
Well, she's like, we've known about him for years. They left.
Wasn't it supposed to be his ex-wife?
Well, no, they're. Oh, have you not watched too much Arrow or?
Yeah, no, okay. They got married again.
Oh yeah, they got back together and had a kid.
Okay.
And stuff. So yeah, they're happily ever after now.
Okay.
So, but they still like have different schedules, like where she's doing stuff and he's doing stuff. So, but she's like, they came a lot of years ago, and I think they're kind of trying to pin it on like the whole Area 51. That's who it was, kind of thing, because they said 1951 or something. So, they were here and then they left, and now they're back. And they're like, Barry, you can't handle this alone. I don't plan to. I'm planning to cross over to the other shows, so we have a 4-night event. So, so right away he gets Arrow, and Arrow's like, what the hell? But there's this. See, you don't watch the Legends show too much, huh?
Right now.
There's a there's a bomb that they drop on that show where a future version of Barry leaves them a message that they found on this ship that they're messing with, and it was a message addressed to a guy that died. So the regular character's like, hey, we found this, and they listen to it like, hey, this is Barry from the year blah blah blah. Don't trust me in this time frame. I can't be trusted. So he gives them a warning about, hey, don't trust me, in this time now, and he's calling from the future, or he's giving them this message from the future. Since he's a time traveler, and they're time travelers in that show, so it comes out on this series like, hey, we found this message. What does this mean? So the team starts doubting Barry. So right off the bat, they get together. Everybody gets together, and then they all start doubting each other because Flash did the Flashpoint where he fucked everything up. He comes clean and tells everybody, hey, this is what I did. Mm-hmm. So he tells Diggle, hey, you had a baby girl. He goes, so something that you did erased out of existence my daughter? So he's all pissed off, and then Cisco's all pissed off at him. So there's a lot of people that are all like pissed off and like, confused. So the team breaks like, hey, don't, like Flash, like, hey, we're not going to follow you. And then what's his name? Arrow's Ollie, Arrow says, hey, we got to trust him. And they're like, no, we're going to go handle this. So they all run off to do it alone with Supergirl. And that's what he says, hey, Supergirl's as fast as me anyway, so I'm going to sit this one out. Thinking better if it's better for the team that I don't, make things worse. Right. So then, of course, it's the sit down between them two. And he's like, Oliver Queen's like, listen, he tells him, he goes, my father, we were trapped on a boat. My father killed the other guy because there's only enough food for one person, maybe. Killed the other guy, and then he turned a gun on himself so Oliver could live. Mm-hmm. And then he goes, years later, Slade Wilson put a sword right through my mother's heart, right in front of me. He goes, Barry, don't you think that anybody in your circumstance that could do that would go back in time and change things? Because I would do it in a minute. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of like letting them know, like, hey, stop beating yourself up over your choice to do it because it's only human that you've done it. Because Barry kind of he kind of holds himself like higher level, like, oh, we gotta I have to be better.
Right.
And Oliver kind of brought him down, and so it's kind of cool. Like they did the thing where like as soon as you start the episode, they're right in the middle of it, and you're like, hey, what's going on? And then they kind of go backwards, and then almost to the end, they flip to that current time. So you're like, oh, okay, that's what's going on. So it's kind of a cool event because he goes and gets all of them involved, and they're all doing their own little shticks that they do, but they all bring something to the team. And of course, Supergirl. And that's what I was going to bring up too. Is when they go to Supergirl's, because it's a parallel Earth. I didn't know that from the rest of the DC.
Yeah, she's in a parallel universe. Yeah.
No, he said it's a parallel Earth.
Yeah, it's just kind of like where what's his name comes from. What was the guy that was the Reverse Flash, and now he's.
Oh, okay, yeah. So okay, yeah. So it was like an Earth number, blah blah blah. So they go there, and it's like all kind of like dark and gloomy on the Flash and the Arrowverse and the Legends Tomorrow. As soon as they go to Supergirl, it's like all bright and sunny. And when you think about it, that's how her character is. She's kind of positive, uplifting, and hey guys, we gotta, she always kind of peps brings everybody up. So they're like, oh hey, look, you kind of can see that. Oh, and dude, I gotta mention this. You remember back in the day, Super Friends, and the Justice League, the little headquarters. They do a pan out more than once of Star Labs, and dude, it's the same setup. The two little pillars on the side, and the rounded center, and there's like a pool in front of it. Like it was a quick flash, and I'm like, did I just see what I think I saw?
Now, on what? Which?
This was on Flash. I've only watched Flash.
On Flash, okay.
So it's Star Labs. That's where they hang out. So you know how like they're doing between scenes, and they kind of just cut to like a wide angle of the building. Mm-hmm. It's the Justice League, dude. The Super Friend Justice League. It's their headquarters. Remember when they on the commercial used to be kind of like flying out of it, running out of the front of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. So I looked it up on my my computer. I'm like, that's it. There it is. So it's kind of funny. I was kind of excited because I'm like, only like geeks from when that you were a kid watching that are gonna recognize that.
Exactly.
So I was like, oh, that's an Easter egg I spotted.
Oh,
But it seems to be a cool because the aliens are badasses. They can control people's minds. Even like Supergirl, they got.
Hmm.
So they're pretty badass. So that's why they got all the teams together, and each one of them are going to probably bring something to the table to help defeat them. So
Oh,
it's a
that's cool.
4-night Tuesday night was Flash, Wednesday night is Arrow, Thursday night is going to be believe Legends, and then Friday I guess will be Supergirl unless they're going to jump to Monday. I don't know. What night is Supergirl usually on? Do you know?
I don't know. I was watching it on Netflix.
Okay, so then maybe that's what I'm assuming it's gonna be. They're just gonna do the block right there. But yeah, I mean, it's funny is the Supergirl is like really strong, but she kind of like doesn't have all the skills to handle everything.
Yeah, well, she started late, where, her cousin started pretty early.
Yeah.
And remember, she got here not as a baby; she got here as a teen. So
Well, you know what's
he's got a lot more years.
That's interesting in the comics that I was reading something on her, because she did a crossover with the Red Lanterns that I was reading. These Red Lanterns have a red ring, and their emotion that they're associated to is rage.
Right.
So they actually made her a Red Lantern for a little while. So she was all pissed off and stuff. So it was kind of cool. But what about one of the things I read about her is when she was coming to Earth, she got caught instead of being caught in that negative zone. She was stuck in a loop around the sun for years and years and years and years. So her body absorbed so much of this, the red or the orange radiation of the sun that gives them the power. So
She's strong.
out of the out of the box, from the get go, she's like actually more powerful than Superman.
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So they kind of twisted that in this one where she showed up as an adult, as a kid, where he's already, she showed up as the same age when 24 years or whatever has passed. So.
Well, it's funny because they did a DC cartoon on that where she came to Earth, and then Superman takes her in, and Darkseid.
It kind of fills in the blanks for like, hey, you're worthy to us, like, because she was not feeling that he was telling her that she's ready, and he's like, yeah,
Right.
you're ready. That's the old ego.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough.
And then he takes her because he knew she was stronger than Superman, and she kicks ass.
Yeah. But realistically, I mean, Superman, I think his thing is he kind of like he is all powerful, but he kind of knows when to say when, kind of like he knows when to use his humanity, which is new to him. He kind of knows how to use that to his advantage.
Right.
From being an outsider and stuff.
It is kind of funny how whenever you see any Superman, either cartoons or movies, he never puts his full into any fight that he does.
Oh yeah, no, because he can't, dude. He'll be like killing everybody.
So it's always interesting to see that even though he's the most powerful person on the DC universe,
pretty much.
He always holds back. He's always holding back.
Dude, I think we talked about there was a character that's a villain who's actually called Superboy Prime.
Yeah, you did talk about that.
And he's from the original when they first created Superman. They started making the mythos up. He's from that era. So when DC revamped it, he was outside the continuity. So he kept all his powers. So he is like the omnipresent Superman. He is the the Ultra.
Right.
So they like it was cool. Like all the Teen Titans were going up against him. He was just like swatting them away like flies.
And
yeah.
Speaking of cartoons, a couple of animes that I wanted to bring to your attention because I know you're kind of you're on the fence with anime sometimes.
Because a lot of it has like
I know.
kids as the heroes, and I want to like watch a show and like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, some of them can be goofy. Some of them can be, But I think one that you would really appreciate is Death Note.
Now is this? I might have watched some of that. Is it like some kind of weird creature type thing that this guy talks to every once in a while? And he's like kind of creepy looking, like a ghoul or something.
Yeah, it's a demon that he talks to.
And he has sharp teeth and claws, and he looks sort of humanoid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I have seen like one or two of those. Yeah.
Yeah, the Death Note series, like I watched it from the beginning to the end, and it's kind of interesting how this kid who's very smart and has
But he was
like
introverted though, right? He didn't have any friends.
Right, yeah, and he had a moral code.
What do you
where
mean
he
he
was
a moral code? He's just some kid. What do you mean? What is he? Who is he to have a moral code? What do you
well,
mean?
as a teen, he was brought up with a moral code, and he, as soon as he gets the Death Note, he tries to apply that moral code to the Death Note.
Because like I said, I seen one or two, so he can almost decide who gets these notes.
Well, what it is he writes. If he writes your name in this notebook,
If this boy, okay,
yeah, you'll die.
and that demon fulfills the death, like he's the one who kills him, or what is?
Well, what it is that the Death Note belonged to the demon.
Okay.
So it was his notebook, and what it is these demons.
So why isn't it called Death Notebook?
You know what? I couldn't tell you because obviously, in Japan they don't know the proper way of using English.
Can you hold on while I call the creator and ask him? Just hold a minute. What is he in Japan? I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him on the line.
Okay, but it's interesting how he tries to keep to this moral code, which is perverted at this point because he thinks by killing, inmates and killing people that
But wait! But before you go into that, you got to back up. So why does he have to kill anybody?
He doesn't, but the demon tells him that he tells him exactly what's going on with the Death Note. And explains to him, hey, if you write somebody's name in this notebook, they will die.
But that's what I'm saying. Just close the notebook, put it away, and you don't have to do nothing. Why does he have to?
Well, he just feels that it's his obligation
To what?
to
Kill
uphold.
people?
Yeah, he just feels that he's doing what the police can't. It's kind of like one of those vigilante type things. He's kind of like
so
the
he's
Punisher.
trying to use this power to clean up what he thinks is wrong.
Exactly.
Okay. That's what I wasn't getting. Like, so just
yeah.
put it away. Boom.
So, what happens is another guy is trying to, find out who it is that owns the Death Note, and it's a very interesting, because it's not a lot of action, but it's a lot of mind games, and just to see how this guy thinks he's that smart, like he's like always like trying to be like 3 or 4 steps ahead of everybody.
Who is this boy?
Yeah, this boy, and then it just backfires at the end. So, it's just it's an interesting concept, and it's an interesting anime. If you want something kind of cerebral, then it's pretty cool to watch. Now, another one that I think you might like is Attack on Titan.
You know what? I saw some of that because they did a crossover with Marvel.
Oh, did they?
Where they brought a Titan with all the Marvel characters. And like, oh no, what are we going to do? And it's like, come on. It's I know they're giant creatures, right? Mm-hmm. They face giant creatures all the time, so I don't see how that's going to be a challenge for them.
Well,
if they can face Galactus, how is these giant creatures going to be a problem?
Because it's not Galactus.
No, but I'm saying is, I just don't see like the need to cross. I don't see why they have to cross over. Like, what? Oh no, this is going to pose a threat to them now.
Yeah. Well,
what's the deal with these giant things? Like, what's their deal?
Well, they don't really explain too much except that the giants are kind of like they're humans, except that they don't have reproductive or They don't have
So they weren't created. They're actually like
digestive
a race of something.
I want to say they're probably created, but they don't explain. Like they haven't explained what's going on yet.
So they just show up.
They just show up.
Hey, we're
So
done.
they're all over the place right now. But then there's these titans that show up, like these really big ones that seem to have.
So wait, there's different sizes.
There is, yeah.
So like, what's
Yeah.
the first one? Like, how big are we talking about? The first ones that show up.
Well, you're talking about that they go by meters, so I think there's a 25 meter.
Well, I'm saying
they
like opposed to like a skyscraper, you know, something in.
Well, no, they would go probably 2-story building.
So they're not like a person's like not like an ant to them.
No,
To
no,
these
not
first
like an ant, but they can actually hold them in their hand. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like
okay. So like when like the Avengers comic where Giant Man has the Hulk, like I can crush you, and then he goes, ugh!
Yeah.
So
something
they're
like that.
about that size, like he can hold them in his hand. Okay, and
Right.
then these other things are even bigger than that.
Right. Then these other titans are even bigger than them.
Are they? So now are the first creatures that show up? Can they fit in the hand of these titans? Is it like that kind of size ratio?
Probably like maybe they can hold them like a baby.
Okay. It's almost like they are like the like they're the young versions, and maybe they're the old version or old.
Yeah, you would think that, but these other titans that show up have like they have intelligence. Like they can, you could see that they think and they can.
So
they
are
can-
they like the final? Like, is this what they evolve into, or they're just two different things, or you don't even know?
Yeah, we don't even know yet.
Okay.
but,
Okay. Do they look the
it's-
same or look similar? Or?
No, they don't even look. They
Okay,
look,
so
each
they're
one
just
of
a
them
bunch
looks
of
different.
just giants.
Yeah, because like the first one, like the regular titans that you see are, they look like humans, just naked, and like I said, with no reproductive organs, no nothing. They just run around, and they eat people.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is they don't even digest them. It's just kind of like they just munch on them. They fall into their stomach, and then eventually, when they get too full, they just throw them up.
And are the
So-
people like still alive?
Well, they wouldn't be still alive. They would,
Okay.
they would be dead because these titans are crunching on them.
Oh, okay.
And then, like
So
the
that
other
they don't
titan,
they don't even digest them. It's almost like they're greedy. They just want to eat them. There's no
It-
like actual need for it.
there's no need for it. No.
Ah, okay, I gotcha.
So and then with the bigger titans that come out, they don't. I've never seen them eat anybody, but they just kind of like do more destruction. So they'll come and destroy certain things.
So are they against each other? The two giant species, are they against each other? Or are they with each other?
No, they're with each other, and then what happens is the one kid who joins the Titan, the team to fight the Titans,
Yeah.
he starts to get munched on by one. And
But from the pictures I'm looking at right here, some of them look like they don't have skin or their muscles are exposed.
yeah,
or-
those are the bigger ones. Those are the
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
Because I did see ones that look just like naked, but they have like bigger teeth and ears or something like that.
Right, yeah. So they're like children. So they run around like all like they don't have the mental capacity. It's like they're 3-year-olds running around.
Oh, so maybe that's it. Maybe they're part, like that's the young species of them and the older ones.
I don't think that's exactly it, but not to ruin too much for you if you do watch it.
Because
but
what, it's still new. It's you haven't. It's not a full series yet.
yeah. Well, you have season 1. Season 2 has not come out yet.
Okay. Okay, I gotcha.
So we're still waiting on season 2. But yeah, what happens is that, like the main character starts to get munched on by one, and then
Okay.
all of a sudden he turns into a Titan.
Oh, so they infect him somehow, or he's originally one and this brings it out?
Yeah, we don't really
Don't
know what's going on with it yet, but
Okay.
all we know
Here,
is
I'm going to take over writing, and this is how I'm going to do it. So when they eat these people, is it like you see them in their belly or something, or what
Well, you just see them getting digested. Like you see them as they're swallowing them.
Oh, okay.
And then, like you learn later on when they're in training and they're getting debriefed about the Titans, they tell them, because they've taken a couple and dissected them, and they say that they just have no reason to be eating people. They just eat them just to eat them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a really interesting, and it's kind of set like in medieval times.
Yeah.
The only thing that's kind of modern is the gear that they use. So what they do is they have these gear that shoots out like wires, and it hits the buildings, and then they're able to propel up the buildings, or shoot up a Titan by shooting these wires onto them, and then they can get close, and then they have to and then they can attack them that way.
So I'm looking at this little picture somebody has here of them, and there's like different classes of them.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the real big giant ones, and then there's like 3 in between human and the giant ones before that.
Right.
There's a 5M class, a 7M class, and then a 15.
Yeah.
So the smaller ones seem like they're part of the same. Like maybe they grow into them. The next one, they're not different individual species.
Yeah, they just don't. You just don't know. They don't give you enough information.
And where do they come from?
Again, you got no information.
What
They're just all over the place. So, but it's an interesting concept because it's like there's a pocket of humanity left, and they're trying to stay alive, and these Titans just keep on. Like what they did was they built these walls.
Mike, this is no Walking Dead. This show would not last 7 seasons without any of this information that I've been asking you.
Well, again, when it's only season 1, you're not going to get too much information.
I need information.
But yeah, it's an interesting concept. I like it, and I think you might, because it leaves a lot of questioning that you might have, and you might have to fill in the blanks yourself.
So is it gory? Because them being like with their muscles exposed, it almost seems like it would be like a gory, but I guess and chewing people up. Is there blood all squirting all over the place? Or?
It's pretty tame compared to some of the other animes that I've seen. So it's
now
not that bad.
This is based on a game, right? Or is the game based on the cartoon?
No, the game is based on the cartoon.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was an anime first, so it was not an anime. It was a manga first, which is the Japanese comic.
Yeah.
So it's a manga first, and then it became.
That's why they're naked.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah.
So is there male and female, or is it just male? Or
there is male and female, but again, there's no genitalia to
other than just like basic, like smooth
facial features.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And do they talk to each other, or are they just totally like beasts?
They're just like beasts. They just
But
run
the
around
older, but the bigger ones seem to be intelligent, where they talk to each other, or
they don't. Again, they don't talk, but you could just tell that they have an intelligence behind what they do.
They're harder to defeat. Now, are the humans able to defeat these things? Can they
just
be killed?
the regular Titans, not the bigger
ones.
Right.
So the other ones can be killed with like cutting or blowing them up or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth a watch. It's actually I was intrigued, and it leaves you wanting more, but because there's no season 2 yet, you're just like, man, I need to know more on what, how, why. You know what I mean?
It poses more questions than answers.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah. So, that's pretty cool. But beyond that, I think it's time for us to end this session. So we're
Who was that? Who just said that? Who said
That was my one dog. He said, yes, it's about time.
He is like, no, that's not right.
But yeah, so what did we learn today in our session?
Make sure that all
Absolutely.
your computer equipment's working before you try this.
They
They don't know the behind the scenes stories.
That's besides the point. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, and I know we've rambled on for long enough. Just keep an eye out for our. We've started doing gaming videos,
Which are heavily geek. You really got to be a geek to want to watch that for 9 hours.
For 9 hours.
For 9 hours. But you know, speaking of that, before we go, I looked up EverQuest last night.
Okay.
And dude, it looks exactly the same. Maybe a little brighter.
One, yes.
Maybe a little brighter, but I'm like, people are still playing this because I was watching like they had like some dragon, and I'm like, oh boy, that's
very
cheese.
square.
Yeah,
very
cheese
square.
and like, you know, not like rendered. It's like rounded and square. Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. Well, keep an eye out for that. We'll let you know when that channel's up, and you can watch that on YouTube.
But they don't have to watch that to listen to this.
No, you don't.
No, they do.
It's a crossover event.
Yeah, crossover event, exactly.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Thanks for listening.
Yes, thanks for listening. Have a good night.
All right, good night, everyone.